You could hear. All right. Okay, I'm gonna begin. I would like to invite you to remember your connection to all that is alive.
Your spirit, yep, I'm on that.
All of the beings on this earth are part of you as you are part of them. All of the people you love and long for, you carry inside of you as they do you.
Alright, don't
Even
spawn one.
when you may feel that you are never alone, you are always aided by guides of this world and not. I invite you to remember this. To remember who you are, who and where you come from.
Yeah, thank you.
What is inside you, now and always, and what you have to return to in this remembrance.
Do not spawn for the 3 days.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, they're being assholes.
Yes, we talked about this when we visited the interconnection and we visited the interconnection that day.
We have a big group in front of us checking this out.
Very beautiful. Any comments? Any stuff?
Wow, they nuked my ass. They're just stopping respawn. They're fucking...
You're getting a lot of thumbs up, yeah.
Let's go Portal 3. Everybody Portal 3 and respawn. Let's find our way down. Actually, Portal 3 is...
I think it was me. So I wrote a paper, but I put together like one slide just to consolidate my thoughts. So I wrote a paper on the free will, just on the concept of free will in the Ramayana. And my perspective was that free will is not, overall, is not really shown as something that kind of affects the characters. So just for like a few examples, the red indicates a point that I made that maybe free will is not super important in the Ramayana, and then the blue is kind of the counter argument. So I'll start on the top left with King Dasharatha's decision to exile Rama. And from my perspective, I think he was forced to exile Rama. And while the decision was made to uphold his dharma and kind of his honor by honoring the boon given to his wife Kaikeyi, and because of he was upholding his honor, he now punished kind of an innocent bystander in this situation, which was Rama, which I believe is not morally honorable. So he's pushed in a situation that didn't allow him to be honorable in either way, but that decision was totally, more specifically towards Rama, that decision he had no free will to express in that, and the king felt like he had no free will to express in that because he was hyper fixated on, his dharmic duty. I think Rama accepting his father's kind of mistake in this situation was the only reason that it got kind of justified. I think in modern times today that would not be justified. You would always probably always protect your family over other people's opinions of you, which is kind of funny. I know we brought this up, but with the whole President Biden, his son, and pardoning him, that is something that clearly King Dasharatha would not have respected, but I think in our modern day it is a lot more common. People value their family over others' opinions. Anyways, going on, the foot soldiers in the final battle, it's totally an overlooked character because they're just, or any of them, because they're just not important to the story. And being around the gods, like,
Oh my
or
god.
divine figures like Rama, Lakshmana, Ravana, kind of just, they have no say in this battle. Even just being there is kind of a waste of time when you consider the power that they're surrounded by. And I wasn't sure on this, but likely they had no choice to fight in the war. I mean, Ravana's soldiers definitely didn't have a choice, but even the soldiers that were helping Rama, there's like weird sort of duty associated with fleeing the battle and whatnot, so I really don't feel like there was a choice given to them, and they're pushed in this situation where they don't have any involvement in this. It's not like their territory's being encroached on or anything, it's just Rama going to get Sita back, and these soldiers, because of their relationship to, I think it was Hanuman, and his relationship to Rama, or maybe it was Sugriva, whoever, that the foot soldiers were helping Rama for something that they had no involvement in, and I don't know if they had a choice doing that, because I don't think that they did. And then the biggest example I found of kind of a lack of free will is Sita's banishment. I thought her banishment was kind of narratively ridiculous after all this effort to get her back. To exile her seemed kind of interesting. And Sita had really no say in this. I mean, she could have, threw a fit or something, but since she's powerless against any of the, the kingdom or Rama, she really had no say in this but to be exiled. And I kind of begged the question, maybe this is just a lack of my own understanding, but why couldn't she do another trial by fire, prove herself, understand that there's kind of weird rules of her divine nature and how that's disrespectful to the gods to make it redundant. But regardless, and finally, I don't think the opinions of other, mortal people should really have an impact on someone else's, dharma or honor. That is a difference that I've kind of had to grapple with, even in the King Dasharatha example. In the Bible, there's an emphasis on, the people's opinion doesn't matter, it's mostly what God's opinions are. And that doesn't translate much over into this story where people's opinions do matter. People's opinions of their king matter to kind of, I guess, how much you are, abiding by Dharma. But the idea that other people's gossip led to Sita's exile, I think is a very good example of how societally there is a lack of free will. But there is kind of some idea of choices that Rama makes. And Rama, from the beginning, is locked down by being this reincarnation of Vishnu, who's the protector of order. So it would make sense that he really would always go by Dharma. But he does show, when he's in the forest with sage Vishwamitra, that he kind of doesn't know if he should kill the demons or if that is Dharma. So just by doing that, it's showing that he has a choice in those situations, and he needed guidance, which kind of opens up that idea of free will for him. And then also that leads into how he deals with things in the future, but when he gets to Ravana, he offers him a chance to surrender. By offering him a choice there, that kind of says, well, there is free will involved in that. Ravana literally has a choice to surrender in this battle. Of course, his pride doesn't let him do that, and maybe there's some divine intervention there telling him not to surrender, so it can get a little wishy-washy, but it is true that he does have a choice there. And then finally, the other counter-argument is that everyone can technically choose to act outside of Dharma teachings. I don't believe it ever says that they're forced into these decisions. It's just their choice to live under the Dharma teachings, which I would find is the biggest gap in my original argument. I think given some context clues, I could kind of create a rebuttal to that, which I do in my paper, but it's getting a little too technical. So that's essentially what my argument was, and my counter-argument that I developed for why free will is depicted or not depicted in
We've got more
For
people
my-
coming from Portal 3 right now. You guys play very scared. So.
Thank you, Thomas. Anybody has quick reactions to that? It was pretty in-depth thinking of various pros and cons, or not pros and cons, I would say the arguments for why the book is having situations where free will is highlighted versus dharma. I just had a couple of points, 2 points at this time. I think you did a great job of analyzing and grappling with these. It is a
essay as well. And to kind of begin my summarization, my essay explores two key lessons from the Ramayana: the cost of ego and the power of forgiveness,
Shit.
and the
I shouldn't
resilience
spawn
required
for
to kind of confront
That is
inequalities. So
No
I
telling
tell
what
it
that
through the
shit right
stories
there-
of the
right
characters
there.
like Rama,
Who
Sita,
is the
and Bali,
clearest one has a
and how
fight
they reveal
breaking
the
out in it?
consequences of unchecked pride and the challenges of balancing personal and public duty. And then the kind of strength and transformative that they find in forgiveness and perseverance. My essay further then goes on to examine Rama's leadership, focusing on his decision to exile Sita to preserve the trust of his people despite his personal love for her. And so this reflects the tension between Dharma and the personal relationships that he has. And that dilemma still is kind of relevant. I talk about it with modern leaders
Let's
today.
run past the ones on the outside, dude. The fuck
It
is
also
all
delves
this,
into Sita's resilience during her trials, highlighting her I talk about highlighting her courage and dignity in the face of kind of injustice that she faces throughout the book or the epic. A theme that kind of resonates throughout my essay is kind of going through struggles for gender equality today, and kind of how Bali's fall illustrates how ego can destroy relationships. Kind of shown by Vishnu is a path to healing and unity. And then I kind of end my essay by drawing connections with modern challenges such as ethical leadership, gender equity, and conflict resolution, and how the epic continues to offer valuable lessons to not only people but to leaders that teach humility, empathy, and resilience.
Jesus, dude,
That's
who is
compassionate.
You and
And
Zero are
that's my essay.
literally like tied for stats.
That fucker. He's got double arc bosses, by the way. I just want to get that. Oh my god. Wait, which one was yours?
Hi.
Run the
For
stuff.
this project, I drew a paint.
I'm not gonna shift.
I tried my best on this board here. So I drew Rama and
Highest is-
Sita here. And then I drew Hanuman right
Highest
here.
is
And like
39
the
right now.
separation here. But also the light within them.
6.
An ethical lesson that I learned from them is about the importance of loyalty in a relationship and sacrifice involved for the greater good.